Hey, thanks for stopping by and clicking on this video. I record under the artist name of audiotech Audio. I have releases on Traxrecords of Chicago. If you'd like to know more about me, you can check out my YouTube channel and this video here, or you can visit my website at www.auditechaudio.com. So today we're going to take a look at groove and why it's important in our music productions. So let's dive straight in. So here we are once again in Logic, and I have a couple of tracks set up, mainly rhythm tracks. We've got a kick drum, clap, an open hat, and a closed hat. And what we're going to do is have a listen to these tracks and then just listen to how they feel. And then we're going to compare them to this track here, which has a slightly different feel to it. And we're going to look at why that is and how we then can make these tracks sound similar to this one. So first of all, I'm going to play the 4 tracks at the top. So listening to those, we can sort of sense that they feel just very mechanical and rigid and not really interesting. They don't really give you a feeling of, let's say, groove or interest that would want to make you really dance to them, yeah? So let's have a look at why that is. So first of all, we're just going to zoom in. So we'll start right at the beginning here. We can see that our kick drum is aligned on the very, very first measure of our bar. Same here with our closed hat. And then as we move along, we can see then that these are starting to line up. Okay, so I'll put the playhead here. You see that this track, and this track are all in line. And then if I move the playhead across to here, you can see that these elements are also in line as well. So as the track continues then, all of these elements, you'll notice, are more or less hitting at the same point and the same time on our timeline here, okay? And that's giving the track a rather rigid feel rather than a groovy feel, okay? Now, if we take a look at the track below, we'll start noticing that this is not in line with these hits here, okay? It's just slightly ahead of them. So let's mute all of these, and then let's solo this one, and let's see how this sounds. So that one has a sort of a more groovy feel to it. Sounds a little bit more less rigid than the other tracks. And that is because of the positions of the hits here. I mean, here we can see that this one is way ahead of the others in terms of alignment on our timeline. So what we can do to make these tracks more interesting is try and move things along just so they're slightly out of time, just like this track here, okay? So that's what we're going to do is this. In Logic, we can extract the groove from this track and then apply it to these other tracks as well. You can do this in most DAWs. So what you need to do is look at the instructions of your DAW and then find out how you can extract the groove of a particular track that you like and then apply it to the other tracks as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here and in Logic, click on this star. And what this does, this makes this track what we call a groove track. And then if you notice here, I've got some little icons which I can then click in. Now what I want you to do is to pay close attention to this track in particular and these other tracks as well, and watch what happens to the audio when I select each of these tracks. So at the moment we can see that we're on here and this one is way ahead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this one here and click it. And now what you can see is that then moved to align with this track. I'll do the same on the next one up here. We can see that that also moves ahead, okay? So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to move the playhead over here. We can see that this is also aligned with our timeline here. And then if I select that, you can see that that moves as well. If we now mute this track and then unmute these, you'll notice that our other tracks have a slightly less rigid feel to them and have a more of a, let's say, funky or groovy feel to them instead. So let's now have a listen to that. So what I will do now is I'll uncheck these as well. And they sort of feel a bit more rigid. Now you can hear that the clap is hitting just slightly ahead of the kick drum. Our open hat sounds a little bit different. Here it sounds quite rigid. Now it feels as if it has a slight swing to it. And there again, you can hear that the close hat has a little bit of a different sound and sort of different rhythm to it as well. Sounds more rigid there. And now it sounds less rigid, yeah? So, again, if we just line up our playhead, we can see that on some parts, they are still perfectly aligned. And as we move along, you can see that they're slightly ahead. Yeah, so if I uncheck those, you can see that the audio then realigns with the playhead, which is on this particular part of the timeline here. So let's just change the groove again. So as we're doing this, we can see that we are moving our audio just slightly forward, or sometimes it might be backwards, depends on your groove track. And then that just gives your audio or your drums just a slightly more groovy feel, and then gives your track just a more interesting feel to it, so it doesn't sound so rigid. So just wanted to show you how that works, and give a little example of groove in this video. Hope you find this video useful and that you can then apply this. If you'd like to see more content like this, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.